Hey there, Anime Fan Club members, and mostly just anime fans all around. Welcome, welcome. Video is going to be the only video that's like this on both my Sins and Wins channel. I don't have my Wins channel created just yet, but by the time this video is up, I will have a Wins channel and Wins channel to be specific. And I just started, like, I forgot my original animation's password, so I had to remake a new one. Anyways, enough on that. I wanted to discuss the rules for both Sins and Wins, and this main video is going to go on. So, YouTube gets issued. I guess I have to create this to different. I hope I can make it easier. Anyway, but nerd. I, I'm animated, and I may not be I may not be well films of anime itself. I only have one manga book, but I mean I don't know why or you can't see it in camera field vision. But besides that, like I found out how I want to watch anime. I should reading the watching the anime. I find more and may have found out my at least my second video of my anime fan club channel because yes, I'm doing that too. Okay, there's a lot. Anyway, there's a lot of good cool for animation and anime wins channel, and I'm hoping I can put it all in one video and upload two separate videos and two separate channels. One problem because I am the same person. I'm Green's Anime Sins. I'm Green's Anime Wins. Green's Anime Wins is not created by the time I'm filming this, but this video will be up on the channel when I do have it created. So you can ignore everything I'm saying right now, but just so you know. Now, I know that there is another Anime Sins channel out there. I've checked them out and was kind of heartbroken. I was heartbroken because I thought no one thought of doing an anime Sims channel, and I wanted to do an anime Sims channel. I wanted to be. Then I found out, oh, anime Sims. So what I wanted to do was, because I'm inspired by Cinema Sims. Jeremy Cinema Sims. I'm inspired by him because he does Cinema Sims. Although the way I would send a movie would be very different from how Jeremy would send a movie. Point taken, the way I would send an anime would be very different from how the anime sends channel themselves an anime. For one, but my at least I would try to be different. I hadn't looked into their videos. I've seen pieces, maybe about a minute of their Dragon Ball Z um everything wrong with it because I mean it was like an hour long. They included like every season, every episode, and they even had parts of the intro from different Dragon Ball Z episodes. So I I wouldn't include intro for an anime sins or anime wins video. I'm not sending them, I'm not winning them. Even though if the intros for most of the animes are superb and I would easily be able to win them if I could. But because of copyright being an issue, and I know my ways around it, I know how to edit properly. I can still have the intro if I wanted to. I can just mute it. I know I can do it. Yeah. Then like I'm winning in the intro to saying, "Hey, the score is great." Well, inspired by Wiz, which is another channel that I watch. I watch both Cinema Sins and Cinema Wins, which are two different people, presumably. I'm not sure, but I think Cinema Sins is a different person, a different group than Cinema Sins, because Cinema Sins is Jeremy, because he said so, okay? And then Cinema Wins, I don't think, but I'm inspired by both channels, and I want to do both anime sins and anime wins, but I know anime sins already exists. That's why it's green anime and not just anime sins, because anime sins already exist. And I hadn't looked too much into the anime sins to know what I need to avoid, to know what I need to steer away from exactly. All I know the basics is um, property. All I know the basics of copyright. Now, what here and there that will have music in it, and it would only have like 5 seconds or so of said music because I'm praising it, at least in Win. And the reason why I'm tapping down, if you notice, the light riding up in my face. I have my iPad on my lap. And although I'm not reading from my iPad, I have a script on my iPad. So what I do is I watch an episode and then I write my scripts on this iPad, keep me organized. And I just orderly like that. I like to be orderly. And so, this just helps me be organized. And I'm inspired by Cinema's wins in a way that, like, the way they write their videos, the way that they show and tell, hey, I like this character doing X, Y, and Z. It would run similarly to that, but it's animated. And I would say something like the win my book, then it would be whatever actor, whatever actress, whatever the case may be. I can't give you an example right now. I don't want to spoil anything. I think it's best to always show not tell. And I don't want to spoil any of my future videos anyway, because I enjoy editing. I enjoy recording and you know, editing and doing voiceovers. Like I do that. So that's exactly what I do for my animations and anime. And although my anime wins channel, it would be Green's anime wins because I don't know if anime wins exists. It probably does. Someone's probably out there doing it right now, and that kind of terrifies me because then again, I would have to look over my own rules, maybe revise, edit my rules yet again. Because I don't want to be copying off somebody else. But Cinema Wins did inspire me. Cinema Sins inspired me the same way as Cinema Wins did. And I want to do this for anime. I'm a big anime nerd. And, I mean, that's why I have my anime fan club channel too. And I'm a big gamer. That's why I have my gaming channel. I had a gaming channel at least forever. You know? So those are at least four channels. Not one, but four channels. Look me up for. And I'm going to have more than just that too, because I have several hobbies. How I would say show off. Um, More or less on that place. Video that's gonna be like this with a camera and like phone on both my animates and the Wings channel. This is the only video that's gonna be like this. 'Cause I'm discussing the root. I said everything I wanted to be organized because that's how I am. Now I need to do some research to find out if there is an anime mix out there, but I believe there might be. There's already be an anime wins out there, so that means that I have to be extra careful and extra, to make sure that I'm not copying off of someone else thing with some my animation channel. It will be kind of opinionated in a way, like my fan club channel and like my anime sins channel, anime wins, and since they're both going to be opinionated, we all like different things. I thought I wasn't going to send Dragon Ball Z or even any franchise of Dragon Ball. I wasn't even going to touch Dragon Ball in either of my either or of my sins or wins films. But Dragon, how I might in becoming Dragon Ball fan, which is kind of saying a but he Dragon Ball fan in it. So you guys may see something wrong with Dragon video or never free Dragon video. You might. I would edit it accordingly. I'll do my voice to mute any part that has too much music, so I don't get what trouble for copyright because you can dig copyright. They always were, probably always going to be done probably how to run. You can't fight me. Yeah, try to go with it. But that's why I want to try to stay away from trouble as much as I possibly. But I want to have. But that's the only reason why I'm doing. I have a lot of more anime. I enjoy editing, recording, doing voiceovers. I even enjoy my own voice impressions of Bakugo and All Might. Although my All Might sounds more like Zora, but still a work in progress. And yes, I can do a Bakugo voice impression. I can do All Might voice. So my All Might even will work. My All Might voice impression even will work. And I had an idea for typically the anime My Hero Academia. I idea for every month. But have same exact episode. The only thing that would be different would be different scenes would be sin or wind. One. One. Yeah, one. I know proper English. Different themes would be either sin or one, depending on what I'm doing. And I thought, still thinking about it, still trying to figure out the kink for it. But basically, I thought of everything, like I thought of doing a Bakugo's Everything Wrong with My Hero Academia, and then I thought of editing, like recording My Hero Academia, editing parts as Bakugo, and doing my voice impression as Bakugo, like my voice impression of Bakugo. And then I would do that, and then my other video would be the original Wrong with My Hero Academia season 1, episode 1, as an example. And then for Everything Great about My Hero Academia, I could do All Might Everything Great about My Hero Academia, and then do my voice correction once I figure out how to actually sound like a proper All Might, because my All Might sounds a lot more like Zoro from One Piece. And yes, both characters are voiced exactly by the same man. But that's why I say I can sound like All Might. I want to refine my Zoro voice, sound a little bit more like All Might. That way, when I do everything, All Might's Everything Great with My Hero Academia, I'd be voicing All Might a little bit, and then I do my original Everything Great about My Hero Academia. Now, this idea is still in the kink. It's still thinking. Like, I'm not sure it'll be up and running. Like, I don't, and I don't want to lie and say, hey, I'm going to do this thing and then not end up doing it. I'm still on the fence about this. It's an idea I think I would enjoy doing, number one. Number two, I think viewers might enjoy, seeing this. You viewers might laugh because your guys will hear like actually my Voxco voice expression, my own voice expression. But then you guys won't know that it's me. You guys won't see me. You'll just hear my Bakugo voice impression and laugh. That's the intention that I wanted. That's the reaction that I wanted, at least. But I'm still on the fence about it because only one or two lines I can do perfectly as Bakugo. And yeah, I can make it run perfectly as well too, where I unintentionally sound like Bakugo. So I make a joke whenever I clear my throat about it. But it's nothing more than a joke. You'd have to know my hair, but that's besides that. That's besides the point. And I am also excited and terrified. This, the Anime Sins, Anime Wins channel, and I could get no thing. I did everything I could possibly want and still get in trouble for it because YouTube, you know? And I just, it's not like, oh, I created X anime. I'm not saying that. I'm just doing it all for, and that's all that I want. And I might consider just disabling the comments section altogether. That's what I'm doing in the fan club channel. I'm just disabling comments. 'Cause- And but I find joy and enjoyment, like, in games. I have other hobbies. Actually, right on my channel, well, I did discuss my rules, and my video is a little too long right now. If you look around, regular, it, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do it for fun. And yeah, there's gonna be some instances where I have sound effects, where I have music. For the longest time, I had my sound effects for ding. Oh, and that's something I wanted to discuss too, because I forgot that part of the rule. So especially when I'm doing sim or win, I want the ding to be different than the usual ding, because there's a ding that cinema use, and then there's the ding that's going to be very different, because I'm not going to, and I think for I am particularly concerned about sound effects. I like audio. Okay, so I feel like the ding signature, which be the only channel that uses that ding or the sin, and then that thing. The only ding they use one ding that is a real one second. Oh, you can type that. And the video, you same thing that, and I am confused because that ding I feel like should be signature to sin. And I could be wrong because that ding could just be a normal ding. It could just be like one of those things that is just like, oh, this is public use. Anyone can use it. But that confuses me because no, first could be cinema ding. Everyone else can ding. It's wrong. And no, well, I but I'm gonna go with them. That is not the reason why I'm not going to use ding as from the sentence. Because I have this I for every anime, and I mean every anime, I'm going to have my own ding for the sin or the win, depending on which one it is. It's going to be like a different ding for each anime. Like an example would be One Piece. And yes, I'm going to try to send One Piece without getting too much trouble. I have a couple ideas up my sleeve for that. Before I get sidetracked again, because I don't have my notes with I, why this video is so long, because I have all these ideas up here. And it's great, but that's actually fine. I just don't have I don't have to have, I know them by heart. That's why. I mean, that's why this video is going on almost half an hour. I'm sorry. I know no one has this long of an attention span. No one can keep up for an hour or half an hour like I can. It's something I'm trying to work on. Trying to work on. Instead of saying the whole Bible, I want to say I'm trying to work on saying a word or two. Because I want to condense my thoughts and these. But I just know I have a longer attention span with people. I can, but before I get sidetracked, like an example would be One Piece. One Piece ding for that would be splash, water splash specifically. And I say I do that for irony because the devil's fruit removes the power user's ability to swim. So I'm using that sound effect for that ding for that sin, specifically the sin for irony effect. And then the sin removal was a cracked whip. It was a cracked whip because in my original anime pins channel that I forgot my password for a long time ago when I did do one episode of everything wrong with Ohana, the flower we saw that day. Another great example that I had is what do you do with a flower? You take a picture of it. And I found in my program, editing software program, cut sound effect. So I used a camera shutter sound effect for Ohana, the flower we saw that day for the sin. And then the sin removal was the crack wet. I have a different program now. So now even the sin removal sound effect is different. The sin removal sound effect will be simple rolling. And I feel like that would be a perfect sin removal, and that will be used all across the board for every anime out there. Just because I found another sound effect that I like. I don't know if my program that I use, my editing program software site that I use, I don't know if they have the cracked whip. If they have the cracked whip, I'll go back to the cracked whip. But so far, I hadn't found the cracked whip sound effect. I found something I like better, symbol rolling. And I'm a musician myself, so that drives home to me. So I like that as a sound effect. I hadn't figured out what I wanted to do for winds, except for I have an idea. It might work, but it's essentially the same thing. Like what I wanted to do is use a ding for the winds that's associated some way to the anime. For the One Piece specifically, I might use a different sound effect for the wind thing because it's a win, not a sin. You know, same thing for like My Hero Academia. For the ding for the sin or the win, I haven't figured it yet. Still working on it. It'll be a smash sound effect. Probably would work best as a sin, and then whatever I want for wins would be a different sound effect for said anime. So what I'm doing is I'm pick like whatever anime that I'm doing, I'm going to try to use a sound effect related to that anime specifically. Now it's going to be interesting because you have something like My Hero Academia, and then you have Dragon Ball, which I could just use Smash for both sins, for like both of the Ding Sing Sin. But I don't want to do that. I want to be original. I want to do something different. if I have to go deep down in my Zoro like voice impression to Sin and say like a grunt or something for a sound effect for Dragon Ball because Christopher R. Scott is a voice actor for like three different characters in Dragon Ball, which is why I might be a fan in the first place. Then so be it. I will do my Zoro voice impression and use that as a sound effect for Dragon Ball at least, because I don't want to use the two of the same sound effects for two different animes. I want to try to be original. I want to try to, you know, do my own thing, but not get in trouble with copyright, if that makes sense. And I'm doing this all purely out of fun because I find like joy doing this. This is one of my passions, watching anime. Specifically, whenever I watch anime, I think of something, you know, and I've been inspired by both Cinema Sins and Cinema Wins. So it's something that I want to do. So by all means, I will do it. And, I have tricks up my sleeve. So if something happens, something goes awry, I will try to re-edit my videos somehow. So that way it would still be the same video. It's just re-uploaded differently or something might be different about it because I had to go back to my backup plan somehow, some way, you know. I'm terrified but excited at the same time. I'm hoping this works because it's one of my passions in life. If my channel ends up getting taken down, it gets taken down. And at least I know that it didn't work out. But I really want to try this. This is a passion in my life. I want to do this for fun. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for sticking in with me. This is like a half-hour video. Holy crap. I need to work on condensing my thoughts because I'm the only one, as I say, I'm the only elephant amongst many squirrels. And I'm not going to discuss or go into further details on that end or that note because of reasons I don't want to get into. That's personal life business. I don't get into my personal life business on here on YouTube unless I'm proving a point about something. And right now, I have no point to prove. So, no, I'm not going to get further details. Uh, Thank you for sticking in with me for half an hour. I hope that both channels work, and I need to do at least some research to make sure that I'm not copying off of someone. But the way that I sin or win an anime would be different from how you might open an anime. Like I would take a different scenes, would you know pin something different. Maybe it would be logic. Maybe it would be an animation error. Maybe it would be a lip sync error, or maybe it'll be I don't know. It's like a sound effect error or something. Sound effects not an error. Not going to be a sin. I was throwing that out there. Anyways, peace out. I don't really have an outro for either channel, Sins or Wins, because you don't need outros. The only outro you need is the scene where it says sentence and total amount of sins or total amount of wins, sentence or reward or award, you know. That's the only outro that needs to be in the sins, wins, and maybe I'll add in like after credit scene that's like in cinema, what they do is they add like a bonus scene or they add like this like bonus round. Like they add like they have like scene, and then they make fun of it, like putting in music in the background or whatever the case may be. I have a couple ideas for something, but it's more of a fun slash hilarious sin removal moment. So I might not have an after credits scene. And another thing I did forget that I just remembered. I'm sorry, I'm outstretching the time a little further. One last thing that I forgot to mention is if I am, or well, when I sin One Piece, because One Piece is going to be one of the very first videos that I do sin. When I sin One Piece, I'm only sending subbed. I'm not getting into dubbed for One Piece, and there is a very specific reason as to why. And I'm not going to get into it. I know Christopher R. Sabat voices the dubbed. At least one character in One Piece, as far as I know. And no, that's not the reason why I'm not sending the English version or the dubbed version of One Piece. I'm not sending the dubbed version of One Piece simply because I cannot stand Luffy's voice. I'm not going to torture myself listening to Luffy's voice in the dubbed version of One Piece to have to sit through and edits and voiceover because I mean, if I did, One Piece would have so many sins. It's not it's not worth it, especially whenever I have this tattoo specifically for One Piece, from One Piece. And I know it's in the wrong location, but that was my bad. It's not the tattoo artist at all. That was my fault. Because I thought it was further down the arm than it really was. But enough of that. This video has gone on long enough, more than long enough. I've already said my outro, sort of. Doesn't really need an outro. But yeah, peace.